What's up, everybody? Welcome back to LabCoat Agents. Another beautiful day with another amazing person. And I go back a little bit, but now he's working on something even cooler. Why Realty at our brokerage is using it now. We know a few other great brokerages that are using it. It's going to blow your mind. And I actually want him to show it to us. But first, Jeremiah, give us an intro as to who you are, your long-standing brilliance in real estate, so people understand what's going on.
Brilliance is the kindest word anybody's used to describe anything I've done in a really long time, Tristan. So I appreciate that, man. Hey, everybody. My name is Jeremiah Taylor. I am the co-founder and CEO of Ribera AI. And what Tristan's talked about is our premium assistant that we call BrokerBot. But before I was an AI tech founder, which feels weird to say, I've been a real estate guy. So 25 years in the real estate industry this month. Sold something like 2,000 houses via myself or my team. We've done a couple hundred fix and flips, have run brokerages big and small in the Keller Williams network. Currently we're in Indy, did some work for mortgage. So if you've spent any time with Loan Depot, Mellow Home, Movoto.com, Ojo, we've probably hung out before. But about a year ago, I just wanted to do something entrepreneurial, get back to my roots, and we decided to build a platform using the latest generative AI technology specifically for the real estate industry. And so we're about a year into it and having a blast, man.
I like it. Well, that's what I want you to show us. Everyone, let us know what city, what state, what country you're from. And if you're watching this on a replay on YouTube or anywhere else, just let us know in the comments. We are going to put a link to what Jeremiah has worked on, and this way you can play around with it. It's absolutely, it's fun. It's crazy. How would you describe BrokerBot when I'm looking at this for the very first time?
Yeah, that's a great question. The simple explanation is that it's an LLM agnostic, polyphonic, omni-channel, contextually weighted, sparse vector neural net, artificially intelligent agent. That's probably the simple explanation.
What's the complicated one? Hold on. I want to know what the complicated one is.
And I just threw out a bunch of like tech gobbledygook. The reality is, look, every day, any agent that is paying attention in 2025 is using some sort of generative AI in their business. Whether you're having it make outbound calls for you or you're just using ChatGPT, you're using it in some way. The thing that I think most people fail to realize, and we'll do a little side-by-side on this, is how inaccurate the majority of those tools are.
Yes.
These systems are using statistical simulations to estimate what should come next, and they're tempted to, just like social media, keep you using them. What we have built is a highly accurate version that understands real estate, your team, your brokerage, your local laws, and that you can even feed it the information for your specific brokerage team, et cetera. And you can really rely on it to the point that we've been able to demonstrate using machine learning evaluations and just general math that our tool is significantly more accurate than any off-the-shelf model, and even more so than a human, to where we've now got our own errors and omissions policy issued. And when we show up to a brokerage as their digital assistant, we come with our own professional liability insurance, which is a trip to say.
Crazy. That is, dude, you just leveled it up. I didn't know that piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I'm going to show you all sorts of stuff. Like, I know you guys use it at Y, and your agents love it. They use it all the time.
Yes,
but there's stuff that like we haven't fully released yet, and I figured this is a good spot to kind of show you some of those things.
All right, show us what it is, right? First, then I'd love to see the side by side next. So,
cool. All right, so let's start with what it is. So, what everybody knows is that if you go to a large language model, so ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, et cetera, and you ask them questions, they're able to answer a lot of stuff, and they're able to be really helpful, and they give you immediate answers. The challenge is that, just like a good salesperson, if you answer with enough authority, people just believe anything you say, and they don't often test it. Moreover, when you're going to deploy these into your business, your real estate team, your brokerage, et cetera, there's just like a level of fidelity where they don't know things about your business. And so I'll give you an example. Like at Y Realty, if I'm asking a question about what the standard number of days in a contingency period in the state of California is, that's a thing that is like generally knowable, that the internet would know, and that most of the large language models would know that in the standard California contract, you have this number of days. But then at Y, you may have an internal policy or procedure that further controls the way that you give notice. Or maybe you have things like your W-9 or your Wi-Fi codes that agents are constantly having to ask the brokerage for. And the internet is not going to know those things. The models aren't going to know those things. And so we have built a way for you to augment the model's knowledge quickly with your internal information so that it can support your team, your brokerage, et cetera. So let me just jump in and I'll screen share for a minute. And okay, yep, it's screen share. I'm just going to share my whole screen. We'll call it the Circle of Trust today. It's going to be fun. So primary platform is here. When you look at our platform on the web, it intentionally looks like some of the other platforms you'd use, and that helps with our cold start problem.
Okay.
Under the hood, it's very different because it's wired into multiple large language models. So you can use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, OpenAI, Gemini, FAL, Flux. There's something like 100 different models wired into it. A couple of
questions on that, Jeremiah, just so people understand the thing you're paying attention to, because I think simplicity is important. You made it look very similar to ChatGPT on purpose, so that we have a familiarity, and I love that.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Number two, you're allowing, and this is the question I have here, you're allowing us to use multiple different AI outlets, right?
Yep.
But is that up to us, or does it do it automatically?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do it automatically. And I'll give you an example. Claude Sonnet 4.5 is like the leader in reading, understanding, and extracting contracts. No agent actually knows that, right? And so if we give you a little picker that says, what do you want to use? How would you know? So instead, what we do is we just say, tell us what you want to do. We will figure out the best tool to use for you, and we'll just take care of it, and we will get it right. So there's no learning ramp to how to do these things. But so you're logged in, okay? So pretend you have a team for a minute. The first thing we do with your team is we want to understand your internal policies, procedures, et cetera. And we make it super simple. You take one click, you hit upload, that thing comes in, and when that gets uploaded, we use our artificial intelligence to figure out what is this, when do we need to use it, what's important and what's not important about this. The average user will never even open that window that I just showed you. But the key is we make it super simple. And then we give you the ability to tell our assistant, do you want the assistant to be able to use this for anybody on the internet, only for you and your agents, or only for specific groups inside of your brokerage? And so think about it like if you have a commercial group and a residential group, there's different sets of information that you would want to make available to them. Another thing we know, Tristan, is like real estate agents aren't just sitting in front of a computer or an app all day long. So we made this work across every single channel. So you can call it on the phone and talk to it. You can text it, both SMS and MMS. You can use it on the web. It embeds in Slack. There's a chat widget, and you can use it on your mobile phone in a web browser. No matter how you use it, the assistant has the ability to bring all of the context of those conversations back into the core platform. So you can start on one channel and flip to another with zero context loss. So
dude, I love
it's pretty cool. And I'll show you how agents use it in a minute. The next thing that we do when we launch somebody is we help you set up domains. Now, one of the big challenges with these models is they use what's called a point-in-time web scrape. So when you go to ChatGPT or Perplexity, one day in the past, they went to every website and they download all the information. What we know is that information quickly gets out of date, especially in real estate. So pretend I'm driving in my car, I pull out my phone, I call BrokerBot, and I say, hey, I just passed a house at 5th and Main. I hadn't seen that sign before. When was it listed? What's it listed for, et cetera? If you try to do that with the other models, they may or may not have access to that website in real time. Our tool actually live pops a browser in the back end, it will go figure out, find that listing and tell you, hey, that's this house. Here's how long it's been on the market. And you can say, can you just text me a link to that house on Zillow? It'll just text it to you.
Yep.
But the key is if you have a sensitive subject, like, hey, how do I do a short sale in California? You don't want the tool going to Reddit and finding something that some dude wrote on his couch eating Cheetos at 2 a.m. So we have boxed out all those domains so that it only uses domains that you tell it to use, in theory, making those reliable, trustable sources, right? So now we also know that we have to have multiple ways to talk to it. So we have this chat widget. You can put this right on your website. So like I used to have Chatty Agent back in the day. This is now Chatty Agent that can convert leads from customers on my website when they chat with it, or I can change it to internal and say, now your job is to support the agents internal, my team or brokerage. I'm going to put this in an intranet. One thing we're working on is having auth so that you don't even have to select this button. It'll just know who it's talking to, and it'll either convert the lead off the website or work with the internal agent and give them what they need. And it just kind of automatically knows.
I love that.
Like I said, we integrate with Slack. And for our more sophisticated customers, we have some brokerages that are north of 4,000 agents. They have an API. They want to be able to control their roster. We give them the ability to do that. We can create custom groups, think like agent teams or specialties within your brokerage. These are ways that we can help the assistant understand and personalize it to the users. And then we onboard people typically by uploading a CSV, or you can invite them one at a time. That onboarding process for a team, 1 30-minute call. For a 5,000 person brokerage, it takes us maybe 3 hours. So we built it to be super simple to get up to speed and get going. And like Tristan, what you know at Y is with your internal policies, you probably have like 70% of things documented. And when you don't have something documented, that's where we built this training center. And so the way that this works is, I'll show you an example. I asked BrokerBot for our company logo. It says it's in the shared drive, and it knows that from our onboarding packet. Then I said, do you have a link to it? And it's like, no, but here's who you can get it from. Again, it finds that in our onboarding packet. And so I just tell it like, hey, remember, this is where it is. And you'll see BrokerBot's using sentiment analysis to now say, aha, you're trying to teach me something. And it teaches itself, this is where the logos are for this. This is where they can be found. And then I can tell BrokerBot, anytime somebody on the internet asks you this, answer this way. Only for our internal agents, or only for groups of internal people, answer this way. So
I like that.
Matter of factly is an assistant that is very teachable and coachable that you can deploy to your brokerage. So that's the setup. I'll pause there. Like anything that I didn't hit clear
I have a
enough.
question on this. So two different things when we're onboarding. So let me switch over to you. When we're onboarding, we can reduce the onboarding process to be just a few minutes for like a 1 agent.
Yeah.
Is that what
and
you're
that's
saying?
like, yeah. And I'll show you, this is wild that we could even do this. Is we have not given this particular account any training on onboarding. But what I can do is I can just come to it and say, hey, I'm a new agent joining the brokerage. Can you look through the knowledge base and find resources that tell me what I need to do to onboard? And then just make a plan and walk me step by step through each of those steps so that I can onboard to the brokerage and have a great experience. So I'm just like asking it to do a thing. And it's going to be able to take and find all those internal resources. Now we have a passport to success and an onboarding guide, just like most brokerages do. And so it's going through and it's now making that plan and telling me exactly what I need to do to onboard to the brokerage, who I can talk to for support. On its own, it found our onboarding welcome packet. It extracted and read this, and then now it's walking me step by step through. And I can even just say, hey, thanks. That's a helpful summary. But now just take me one step at a time.
This is crazy. All right. So then internally, they're onboarded. Okay. They're all in and they're lost. They're like, where was that thing I needed to get? What is it that my company offers? I just switched. I don't remember. Where do we go there?
So check this out. So I'll give you like a really kind of cool demo that comes up all the time. And so let me make sure. Perfect. I've got it on my MacBook Pro. So like I just got somebody and, we're doing a little demo. So I'm going to call BrokerBot.
Okay.
Hello, Jeremiah Taylor. How can I help you today?
Hey, BrokerBot. I'm doing a webinar with LabCoat Agents. And I want to show you off a little bit. And so, one of the common things that we have to tell people when they come to the office is where to find the W-9. Can you go find the W-9 in our knowledge base and then just text me a link to download it? So giving it like super long form instructions, it says just a sec. It's going to go into our knowledge base and it's going to find it. And then now
the proven home -9 form on the knowledge base and just texted you a direct link to download it. You can share that link with anyone who needs the W-9 for proven home. If you want a quick summary of what's on.
So let me show you what happened behind the scenes. So that was one phone call. And so behind the scenes, you'll see now that voice call just popped up. What happened is I called it. It knows it's me because it knows the phone number I called from. It transcribes a bad transcription of what I said, but it got the point. It finds our W-9. It says, hold on just a second, fires a text and says, I found the proven home W-9. And so you can see everything it's doing in the back end, but more importantly, it texts it to me. I hit one click, and I know you can't see it because it's like blurring from my face, but there you go. The W-9 is right there sitting on my phone. So think about all the things that you have to do as like a team leader or a broker owner, or even as an individual agent. Like, what are all the things that you wish you could just call your assistant and say like, hey, can you send me that? Hey, can you take notes on this? And keep in mind, it can go to the portals and do searches. So like one of the core things I use it for is when we're flipping a house, I've gotten kind of lazy about running comps. I just call it and say like, hey, I just got a call in this house. Can you go figure out for me what the high watermark in sales are, what rehab homes sell for? And because it can go rip through multiple pages and recognize the images, it's able to do that. I'll show you another one.
Shoot.
This is one, and we have a small brokerage. Agent texts me, hey, sorry to bother you on a Friday. I'm at a home inspection. I noticed this random thing in the yard. And she texts me these. I have no idea what these are. I group text BrokerBot back, and BrokerBot says, thanks for the photos. This is what your inspection period is for. And it figures out in about 10 seconds, this is the inspection port for the septic. And this is how you get to it. That you should get a licensed plumber, septic inspector. So then I text back and I said, who's the septic inspector our office recommends? It pulls a copy of our vendor list, gives that to her immediately. And the agent in like 30 seconds says, double thumbs up. This is amazing. And so it's able to use like image recognition just via normal text. So now picture, you could group text it with your client. You could group text it with the agents on your team. You can text it and ask it to go run comps and give you back a CMA. And then wherever you text it or whatever you do, it's also always living on the web. So the channel stuff's really cool. It embeds in Slack. Like this is our internal company Slack. And so there's a good question in the chat, which is like, is this something through AI just for brokers? Part of like my grand reveal with Tristan today is we are launching an individual plan of this later this week. So today we only sell to brokers and to team leaders. We're going to make BrokerBot available to individual agents later this week. So you'll go to the same website. You'll be able to sign up. We're going to give you guys a little code for a special offer.
That's like a full-on admin assistant.
Yeah.
Specifically for real estate, CMAs, any documents I need, anything. That's pretty nuts. All right. So you've been playing around with this. You're building this out. What did you notice missing that you're like, man, we're going to work on this next? Because I know you're always thinking way ahead. What then you can tell us that won't give something major away, but you can say, hey, we're working on this and it's almost out.
Working on this and almost out. So part of the magic of what we do, because we can call different models. A lot of you probably use like realestatestaging.ai, right? Realestatestaging.ai relies on a model called FAL or Flux. And so that model allows us to take an empty room and stage it. but it doesn't do a good job destaging it. So we use a different model for that. So right in our platform, I can come in here and say, hey, this is a room that's been virtually staged. I want you to remove all the furniture and staging from this room and just give me back to the blank room. And so right inside the platform, because we have the utility of calling these different tools, we can stage properties. We can help you generate social media images. We can review contracts. There's a crazy amount of stuff we can do.
I
But
didn't know that.
now,
Crazy.
yeah, it's amazing. But now think about the more stuff you connect to BrokerBot. And so you'll see, like, in 10 seconds, we went from this to that. And if you ever tried to do this in Chat GPT, sometimes it gets it right, but a lot of times it gets it really wrong because that image model isn't great at this. And so that's just like us being able to use the right tool for the right job. So now picture for a minute that we connect this to your Google, and you can go in and just say, like, hey, I had that client, they emailed me last week and I can't remember who it was. I swear I was supposed to get back to him. Can you go find that in my email and tell me what I was supposed to do? And the assistant now has the ability to go sift through all of your emails, your Google Drive, your calendar, and it can just answer those natural language type questions. And then when it finds it, be like, oh my gosh, thank you. Draft an email to them and just apologize for me. And then give them 3 options of a time that would work for us to meet on Friday. Like, we're not years away from that. We're weeks away from that. And because the assistant can work across channels, you saw me call it and ask it to text me something. Yeah. What if you could just like text it and ask it to call someone and book something for you? Again, like the plumbing project is significant, and it's been a year long to get to where we are. But now that the plumbing is in place, the utility of being able to move it across these different channels, wire it up to your CRM, but do it all in a correct and compliant way to where it's not going to like put you in license hot water. That's really the thing we're pretty excited about.
That is pretty crazy, man. I love that. And where would people go and sign up, or at least take a look at this and get ready for the single agent version of this?
So the best place to go is brokerbot.ai. I'll screen share that with you. Hit get started. That'll take you through creating an account. If you go to create an account today, it's going to ask you to sign up and pay, and it'll only let you do it for a team of 10. The individual version will come later this week. We'll send out an email and we'll get a discount code live in there for LabCoat. So just enter LabCoats at checkout. We'll give you an extended trial for it. But Tristan, before we run out of time, this is my PSA to the industry.
Go.
Is that you all are using ChatGPT today, or Perplexity, or Grok, or whatever you're using in your business. And you just need to be really careful about how you use it and how right it is versus how right you think it might be. Right. So I want to share with you an example. This is an offer that I uploaded to the platform. Sorry, wrong. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. And in this, I uploaded it to our platform. You'll see our platform tries multiple times to find the property address, and it's able to tell us what's going on with the offer, to find the information. And in this case, we intentionally wrote the wrong address. Okay. And you see now our platform is able to say, like, hey, this is a big problem. You need to fix this. Versus when you do this in ChatGPT, the same thing comes back and it gets some of the contract extractions wrong. It thinks there's no buyer agent commission. But most importantly, it just hallucinates and says, like, I found the listing and it's right, and your offer is $5,000 over list price.
Wow.
And so my PSA to the industry is 2 things. Number 1 is understand that when you are using ChatGPT, Grok, et cetera, just like social media, there's an algorithm that is designed to get you back in the platform, meaning it's going to tell you what you want to hear over and over and over again. Okay. And so make sure that you always double check its work, double check, especially PDF extractions, things like that. Number 2 is you need to go into your settings in ChatGPT and ensure, and Perplexity, Grok, et cetera, and ensure that you have turned data sharing off. Because if you don't, everything that you put in there, all your customers' personally identifying information will become training material for the next iteration of the model. And you could put yourself in a position where you, especially if you're in California, you have GLB, Gramm-Leach-Billy, or Bliley, sorry. You are responsible for these data leaks, and they can be not trivial if somebody is harmed by them. So make sure that you are double checking its work. Make sure that you have turned off data sharing, and know that if you use our platform, we do those things for you.
I like that. And then Ben says, most solid platform I've ever seen so far. And I've said on many webinars, presentations, and deep into the AI world. And he said, it's like go high level, ChatGPT and automation had a baby. That's a good one.
I love that. I love that. And I think, Ben, our remit to the world is, I'm a real estate guy first. I'm not a tech guy. So I don't have a lot of patience. And GHL has a ton of horsepower, but I'm never going to sit down and build all the automations. And I think the average agent isn't. And so we've created a thing that in a few minutes you can stand up and it just flat works. And that's really the thing that we're going to keep building, is a thing that just does magic behind the scenes and leverages machine learning and our understanding of how the real estate industry works to continue to create tools that anyone can use.
Dude, I think we're loving it for the simplicity of having our agents reach out for help when they can't reach us, right? And we're growing pretty fast, so now it's becoming even more important for our agents. So thank you for building something that's actually useful that can scale with us.
Yeah, man, we're excited about it. And thanks for, Tristan, you were a super early partner. When we were still breaking everything all the time, you were there for it and helping us build. And I can't thank you enough for that.
Dude, it's all you, man. I'm just here happy that I'm part of anything. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Please sign up, scan that with your phones, take a look at this, and then we'll be having an update probably every month or so with Jeremiah and the team, so we can take a look at what this looks like on the broker side and also on the individual agent side, because this is one of those tools that comes along every once in a while that everyone should have, that everyone should sign up for, because it's that powerful. Thanks, Jeremiah. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Tristan. Thanks, LCH. We'll talk to y'all soon.